coming to you with secret number 8. You are almost halfway through the ebook of the little black book of homeschooling secrets. Today's secret is all about what to do and not to do during a global pandemic and the ensuing pandemonium, which guess what? Is exactly right where we are right now. So perfect timing. Now, when I'm going to be sharing with you these secrets today, I'm not only sharing them with you as a mom and a homeschooler myself, but I'm also sharing them with you as a founder of a private school, an elementary school that we have run here in Phoenix, Arizona, USA for the past couple of years. Now, of course, I have an amazing, fabulous team of principal, staff, all of the pedagogy experts that are executing for us based on a joint philosophy that we have put together as far as, the core values and the ethos of our school. But I can tell you 100%, everything that I'm sharing with you today and in this entire book is exactly what I would be sharing, not only with our entire staff, but also with our entire family student body, all of the parents and everybody in our entire community. And the way that we approach how to handle right now is a little bit different than probably how a lot of mainstream schools would approach education, because one of our core values is that we focus on a holistic education. What does that mean? Does that mean that we're hippies and tree huggers? No. What it means is that we focus on educating the whole child. We look at the entire picture of the child because that's what we're working to raise. We're not just concerned about their academic excellence and how much they can memorize and what their test scores and what university or college they head off to, 10 years down the road. Are all of those things important? Yes, but that's not what is our number one priority. Our number one priority when we're looking at our children, this is something that we talk about as a leadership team and a staff all the time, is we envision that if we're a business, okay, and our product is finished students. Now, no human is ever finished. I am a big believer that as long as we are still on this earth, as long as we are still breathing, there's still life within us, it means that we have more to do and more to learn. So no one is ever finished, okay? Until, we are called back to our Creator. But for now, in this little slice, we're looking at our finished product is when we kick these kids off our factory line and they are ready to go out into the world as adults. So if that is our end goal, and we're going to reverse engineer that into these humans that we are raising and educating, we're not just looking at their test scores and their academic excellence. We're looking also at their emotional wellness, their physical health. We're looking at, do they feel safe? Are they happy humans? Do they feel confident and stable? And do they have the life skills that they need to not just survive, but thrive in this world? Okay, so that's really the filter that we put every decision through as we are looking at, are we going to make whatever it is, XYZ, a part of our school, a part of our curriculum, a part of our subject matter, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so same thing when we're looking at how would we approach a pandemic? How would we approach something that is such a world changer, such a marker in the life of a child? We're looking at all of those things as well. So right now, far more important to the long-term holistic health of a child, far more important than their test scores and whether or not they're prepared for, next semester's trigonometry class, is, do they feel safe? Do they feel stable? Do they feel secure? Do they feel loved? Do they feel accepted? Do they feel happy? So if you look at, the good old fashioned Pavlov's hierarchy of needs, first you've got to get their physical needs met, and then you've got to get their emotional needs met, and then, everything goes on top of that. Okay. So right now, until our kids feel safe, stable, secure, loved, and happy, quite honestly, nothing else matters. Nothing else would stick anyway. If the kids are worried about these things, nothing else that we are going to cram into their brain is even going to stick. It's pointless. It's useless. Okay. So that doesn't mean that I'm not going to worry about any of those other things. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to try to make an effort to share and teach any other subject matter during this time, but it means that I'm going to deal in reality with where are they holding? Where is their head space? Where is their heart space? And I'm going to invest. I'm going to really swing my pendulum way over to this side, overcompensate, and make sure that they feel safe, stable, secure, healthy, happy, and loved. So I'm probably right now going to spend 80% of my time on that and 20% of my time on the academics. Okay. And the other thing that I'm going to do is inside some of those academics, what I might be doing, like you've heard me talk about quite a lot already, is I'm going to be looking at character and life skills. Because right now, when they're home with you, when their science teacher or their history teacher or their math teacher isn't who they're spending the most amount of time with, I know that as a parent, if I take my education hat off and I just look at my my parenting hat, I want to make sure that my kids are going out into the world with the life skills prepared to thrive. Okay, I may not be able to teach them a lot about, I don't know, the deep, sophisticated, math principles that I barely made my way through in high school and college myself. But I can, can I teach them how to cook? Can I teach them how to sew? Can I teach them how to tire? If I don't know how to do these things myself, maybe we'll learn together. So, can we work on how to open a bank account, how to balance a checkbook, depending on how old your kids are. Maybe you're going to spend some extra time with them right now on, tying their shoes, on how to tidy up after themselves, on hygiene, all these things that every child needs to know. But so often these skills slip through the cracks. Should it happen at home? Should it happen at school? And because there's no clear expectation there, a lot of these things, they're never taught, sadly. Okay, so that's one of the major things that I would be looking at when I'm looking at what to do during a pandemic. The other thing that I would say, now I'm speaking to parents, and I'm speaking to parents that it's very likely that you may, under normal circumstances, have your kids in a mainstream environment. And that is perfectly okay. This is not me knocking mainstream, but coming from the space of having been a mainstream parent, I would just like to remind you and give you permission to remember that you are the parent. So if your kid's school is putting expectations on things that they just don't jive with you, you have every right and every responsibility to push back, to resist and say, no, I'm not going there. I'm not doing that. It's too much. It's too much stress. It's unrealistic. Whatever. If it's like crazy amounts of homework right now and packets and online this and online that, and you've got 3 kids having to share technology and share devices, and there's not enough quiet space in the house. And if right now moving forward with academic excellence is creating so much stress and tension in your house that everybody is angry and unhappy and overwhelmed, is it worth it? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Is it worth it at the end of the day? Maybe there's a way to figure it out so that everything runs smoothly. And if that's the case, great. But you as mama bear or papa bear, ultimately that's your responsibility. And again, I can promise you that 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when these grown-up kids look back, they're not going to remember, whether they passed the history test. What they're going to remember is, was their house stressful? Was their house fun? Was their house happy? Was it loving? Or was it crazy town because we were trying to figure out how to blend the technology and the education all together? So those are the things that we as the parents have to look at and decide. And you can feel free to deviate from the school's plan. And I promise you, it's going to be okay. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.